Hello and welcome back to another Night Owl edition of True Crime Metrix. It's Sunday, the 23rd of June, and we are starting a little early today, folks. A little early on a new case, the Chris Watts. Well, there wasn't a case. I mean, I guess it is a case. It's a murder case, the case, but there wasn't a trial, is what I'm going to say, because why? Well, what would be the point? It was definitely him, And, there was some talk about, he admitted it, but the way he told it, what did he do? Does everyone know what he did? Kaza, do you already know what Chris Watts did? I'm sure you do. And Carly. You must know. Everybody knows. But you know who hasn't seen anything about the Chris Watts case? Is our friend from the chat, Bob from Accounting. That's his name, Bob from Accounting. He's never heard of it. Well, he's heard of it, but he's never watched it. So this is for you, Bob, and everyone else, of course. So what did he do? Well, Chris Watts got married. He's from North Carolina. His wife is from North Carolina. And they both moved to Colorado. Better job opportunities, a nice state to raise a family. They had 2 small children and a third one on the way. But Chris Watts wasn't happy enough with that, really. No. He met a nice woman at his work. Someone who made him feel like he mattered. Because his wife, Shanann, really was, well, maybe, didn't really make Chris feel. Well, let's put it another way. Chris certainly felt that Shanann didn't really meet his needs anymore. She was much more concerned with the kids, and it seems she was kind of into having the status of a family, a young family with a lot of nice things and, obsessing about that, as Chris would say. So Chris got a little side woman at work and decided that he liked her better. But the thing was, you might think, well, Chris, why don't you divorce your wife and then you can start a new relationship with the one that you like better? But Chris didn't want to do that. No. Chris thought Shanann would go nuts and hammer him in the courts. You'll never see the kids again. Get full custody that Chris would have to pay for the next 20 years, as well as alimony. And I guess he just thought to himself, well, I do want to divorce my wife, but if I do that and she finds out she's got grounds to, say that I wronged the marriage by cheating on her, then she'll be entitled to half of everything I have forever. And he didn't like that idea. So it looks like he just decided to kill her. And of course, if he kills the mother of his children might begin to ask questions. So they would be difficult questions for Chris to answer. So he killed them too. I'm amazed that he didn't kill their family dog, a dachshund named Dieter. Lucky escape, Dieter. You don't know how lucky you are, Dieter. I hope he's gone on to a good home and that he's got enough sausages to last him for a lifetime. What else can we say about Chris Watts? Oh, yeah. So instead of calling it in and trying to frame the murders as a terrible accident so at least that they could have a burial, no, that wouldn't work for Chris's plan. He decided to drive them all out to where he worked on the oil fields. He was some sort of mechanic, field operator for an oil company that have these big oil fields out in the middle of nowhere in Colorado, very remote locations in the desert. So he went out to his work site early in his work truck, which has GPS monitoring, and he put his wife, Shanann, his pregnant wife, Shanann, into a shallow grave about 3 inches deep. It was ridiculous. And with his 2 daughters, he put them both into large oil tanks, really large oil tanks, like as big as a house oil tanks. 2 of them separately, different oil tanks for each one. But then Shanann's best friend, who had picked Shanann up from the airport the night before the murders, had arranged with Shanann, who wasn't feeling too well because of the pregnancy and stress in the relationship and everything. She said, listen, I know you've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so if you're feeling too ill to drive, give me a call and I'll take you. But of course, she never called. And the friend thought, oh, that's weird. She's got that really important doctor's appointment and she's really punctual, you know, she's very schedule orientated and she's forever on her phone. Her whole business is run on her phone. She's like, you know, her phone is connected to her 24/7. It's almost part of her body, right? So the friend starts calling and straight away just gets the vibe something's wrong, right? Amazing intuition from Nicole. There's Chris's lady on the side is also called Nicole. There's like 55 Nicoles in this story. But Shanann's friend Nicole goes over to the house, sees Shanann's shoes through the window, sees her car on the drive, can't call her. Chris has got some bullshit story about she took the kids to a play date and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's just all wrong. So she calls the cops, who come over to do a welfare check. And all the time she's on the phone with Chris saying, listen, Chris, I've called the cops, okay? Something's not right. Where are you? You need to come home and open the house, because what if she's upstairs? She's diabetic. She might be non-responsive. We need to get in, idiot. And Chris is like, no, she's fine. She was decompressing. Yeah, she went off to decompress because we had a tough conversation last night. And she's decompressing with the kids. And the friend just knows he's full of shit and says, listen, oil boy, you better get your ass back here because the cops are coming. So Chris is like, yeah. I'm okay. I'll come. I'm about 45 minutes away. And then they call him 45 minutes later and he says, yeah, I'm on the way. I'm coming. I'm about 45 minutes out. Meanwhile, the cop's already there, looking through the window. Of course, Fourth Amendment rights prevent him from entering the house and so on. But, you know, then the cop starts calling the Chris there. Anyway, before we get into the body cam footage tonight, guys, I wanted to share with you a song, a lovely song about the story that some of you may have heard, some of you may have haven't heard. And I think we can all enjoy it together in peace. How do we do that? We do it like this. Okay.
It's been a tough year, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I wish that I would just fucking die. My wife don't love me and we don't have sex. Marriage is fucked up, I wonder what's next. But I found a new girl and she loves me lots. She gives me hand jobs and sucks on my cock. But having 2 families is expensive as fuck. I wanna trade in my old one. I'll put my wife in the ground, I'll put my girls in a tank. I got no love in my heart, I got no cash in the bank. I made a real bad mistake. I cheated with a slut, all because she let me fuck and let me put it in her butt. I'll put my wife in the ground, I'll put my girls in the tank. I got no love in my heart, I got no cash in the bank. I made a real bad mistake. I cheated with a slut, all because she let me fuck and let me put it in her butt.
You didn't see her today, though, any outside or anything? Okay.
That's not it.
Right.
Yeah, 544. How you doing, Leo, my man? Yeah, I caught a bit of you on with Grish last night. And okay, settle something for you. It's true crime Metrix, as in metric system. I know the plural of that would be spelt with a CS rather than an X, but hey, we're high tech. And yeah, I'm not Australian. I'm not from New Zealand. I'm from England. But I appreciate that I do have a kind of hard to place, fluid array of accents at my disposal. That's all right. When are we doing our show, man? When are you inviting me over to your show? Is it a standing invitation or am I? Yeah, we got to get in touch. We got to get in touch. I think I've got your email address somewhere, and I might have some time opening up. So, yeah, we'll talk soon, man.
No, but to be honest with you, that's out of the ordinary. Usually when it's not out, it usually doesn't come out.
Yeah, Mary Bartlett, by the time Donna's trial comes, you're going to have to book your seat in the True Crime Metrics audience. It's going to be a packed house, guys. Packed house.
Shit.
I think this cop's just trying to look busy, like jumping up and down these, what do you call these things? These basement ducts.
How am I going to get in?
Carly Chase. No, there was no evidence of poisoning found on the autopsy. You know, they check all that. Hey, Neety, I'm going to be eating some cherries tonight. So if you hear any sort of kissy munching sounds, try to contain yourself.
Yeah, I think she's diabetic, to be honest with you.
Oh, is she?
Something with her blood sugar, I thought. He said the same thing. Yeah. My mom knows.
Basement window wells on Ravel. Thank you. You see, I just wouldn't know about that. That's it's a pretty you know, American Canadian thing. We just don't have that kind of thing in Europe, you know.
Is there a key code, Sandy, to open the garage from the outside? What is it? Because Mom's going to get it.
Okay.
This is her parents.
All right, what's the key code of the garage? Okay, not there.
Kaza T, yeah, I really want to review that court appearance from Donna. Haven't done it yet, no, because of her lawyer at the time. What was her name? Maria Descalzo. just being such a crazy, fast shooting, slick talking Miami lawyer, totally out of place in Tallahassee. And all sleepy Tallahassee people are just like, okay, hotshot, we don't play like that here, hotshot. Okay, calm down, sit down. We're going through the steps. We have a list, and we're going through the points on the list slowly. Okay, you don't need to talk like that. Yes, sir. My name is Maria Descalzo, and I'm representing Donna Adelson, who is seated to my left. Okay, whoa, Jesus, hold your horses. But yeah, there's some great stuff in there. Like Maria Descalzo keeps getting the boss of the jail, Lieutenant Mac. She just can't get his name right. She's like, Max? Mackie? What is going on? Everyone the Adelsons hire, it's like they have this impediment with people's names. I think Daniel Rashbaum as well, right? What does he say? Sigfredo Garcia. You know, I can't remember. Let's get back to Chris.
Well, I can't go in, but if they allow you to go in, I have to have the property owner's permission to enter.
What's going on?
Okay. Well, he's the property.
Mary Bartlett. So there used to be a online tool called GT Metrix, spelt with an X, and I used to use that for testing some stuff when I used to do stuff like that. And yeah, that's where I got the name from, because it's spelt with an X, because it's super high tech and modern and future. Future. Love is the future, hate is the past.
Property
Well,
owner.
they told me Shannon was at her girlfriend's house.
Do we know who that is?
Do we know
Or
who?
phone number?
He didn't say.
When did he tell you that?
He needs Mrs. acting funny. I don't get it. What did he say?
He
Oh, hey, Rabbit, you think those houses are close? I'll send you some pictures of some streets where I live. You would not believe it.
told me that Shanann didn't take the girls to school this morning because she was going to go on a play date, but her car's here. And then people asked that Shanann left to
Okay, so to everyone new in the chat, welcome. Good to see you. And who's on the phone there? It's best friend Nicole, who's talking to Shanann's mum, and Shanann's mum is also like, yeah, we heard from Chris. It was really weird. What's up? What's going on? There's something going on. You know, everyone knows there's something going on, and Chris thinks he can pull this off, right?
What's Chris's phone number?
They have the top lock, the one that they have on there so CC can't escape. Chris's phone number is 910-309-1702.
Okay. That was Chris, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, high five to Nicole indeed. I mean, she really, she's almost like the Jeff Lacasse of this case, you know, just spearheaded it immediately knew what was going on, immediately knew she needed to take action and involve law enforcement without hesitation, gave Chris no room to maneuver, just up in his grill. Trust your intuition, everybody in the trap. Ooh, Freud, come here. In the chat. Yeah, trust it, follow it, but you know, within reason. I know 544. Did you just check out all the different chairs that Shanann has? I mean, you know, I'm not here to either badmouth Shanann or put her on a pedestal. You know, I just think she's a human being who's as beautiful and flawed as anyone else. You know, so I will just say that I do not appreciate her decorating taste. That would drive me mad. You know, it's really specific and very placed. You know, it's almost like standing in a museum. I don't know.
Hey, Chris, Officer Coonrod for the police department. Pretty good. So, do you have any idea where your wife is? Okay. Right. What my concern is, her car's here. They're saying she is diabetic. I don't want her, if she's upstairs and can't respond. Okay. About how far out are you? Okay. All right. Thanks.
You see, if that was me and I got the call from the cops at my house saying they're concerned for my wife, I'd immediately be like, listen, kick the door in immediately, you know, break a window, enter the house now, you know. Oh, I'm about 5 minutes out. I'll be 5 minutes. Yeah. Oh, probably 10 minutes or 45. You know, I'm caught in the 45-minute loop, the Colorado loop of 45 minutes, just round and round. But, you know, I'll get there when I get there. Listen, buddy, show some urgency. I mean, he must have been like just so annoyed at this Nicole for not just, he must have been like, please just buy my story and go away and just let me have today to sort this out and destroy the evidence, please. But no. He hasn't slept at all either. Well, apparently he did sleep like before Shanann got back, but other than that, he's been murdering, he's been dragging bodies around, he's been rushing around the oil site trying to cover the bodies and look normal when his co-workers arrive. I mean, it's been a rough morning. And then you go into the #1 acting performance of your life when you clearly have no natural ability for that whatsoever.
Dispatch Rick 91.
I think Sarah Boone would have done a better job, you know.
He states medical. This female is diabetic. Unknown if she is home, though. Husband is on his way. He said like 5 minutes. So he's about here.
He's told us 45 minutes 2 times in a row. He told one of my mom's friends that he was on I-45, so the interstate pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And we waited the time we were told. The mom called again. He said he was still on it and to wait another 45 minutes. So he's just been giving us false times and everything. And we know he's been lying because his stories aren't adding up.
Right.
So everybody different stories.
And do we have like her parents' phone numbers or anything we can call them to make sure?
She's not close to him.
Oh, she's not?
No,
Okay.
she still talks to him and everything, but they don't know any of the codes to the house or anything.
But I was just thinking maybe they were watching the kids, or she was visiting them, or they don't. Okay.
There's not Wisconsin or somewhere along those lines.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything out of place. I'm not hearing kids. I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, and all of their stuff is here, and I set off the alarm by trying to open the garage forcefully, and that didn't work. So, and their alarm's one of the ones where it goes off and it feels like it's making your ears bleed.
Mm-hmm.
So if she was in there,
She should have heard it.
yeah, she would have while she was sleeping, because they have little things on the wall on every room to go off.
Is never not with her, folks. And good friend Nicole knows that. You know, Shanann's whole life, her business, her friends, you know, everything was on the phone. She was also like doing these sort of Facebook lives of baking with the kids, and you know, was always on the phone. Her phone's here, she says.
Does she work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home?
She works, this is her lifeline.
Yeah. And now Chris is like trying to join in with the shock and the impact of what that means. Oh my God, her lifeline. She wouldn't be without her lifeline. This must be a clue.
So yeah, that thing turns back on, it's going to start blowing up. Oh yeah, trust me.
It was shut down.
Nicole's completely bailed on working with Chris now. She can't flat out come and accuse him and say, "What have you done with her, needle boy? You know, what have you done with her?" But she might as well be doing that. She's just completely, you know, distanced herself. I'm not going to get anything from this guy. Let the cops deal with him.
She's in the playroom. Yeah. Well, it was originally under the cover on the couch. Do you know where that's going?
I don't know where it passed over.
It used to be 2385, but now it's 6 digits.
It's the baby's due date.
See, the friend didn't even need to think about that. She didn't know that. She was just like, oh, 6 digits. She's pregnant. She's really into being a mother. Put the baby's due date, you idiot.
1/31/8/19.
Yeah, Leo says it would be so interesting to talk to this cop because he's just way more proactive than 99.9% of cops, and he must have a lot of interesting insight. I agree. In fact, the whole department, Frederick PD, seems to be like really well trained. And, you know, of course, it was a case that really struck a chord with everyone. There's a pregnant woman missing, presumed dead, murdered, and her 2 very young daughters. So obviously that draws a lot of resources. You had the CBI come in, the FBI, and those resources that came and joined the Frederick Police Department were also top notch, especially when it comes to the interrogations of Chris and the lie detector. We're not going to get to the interrogation today, guys. In fact, I doubt we'll get through this whole body cam footage. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss that coming up soon. You know, I think we're going to stick with the Chris Watts case for a few days. We're going to go bosh, knock this one out, get as much content in as we can, and then take a break. And ring the bell so you get notifications and don't miss the live so you can join the conversation. Look how busy the chat is, guys. Are you going to miss that? Are you going to take that risk? Ring the bell.
What does she do for work?
She works at a direct sales company called Drive.
Chris, does he know he's on camera? He's just like, yeah, maybe if I just keep looking at the phone and playing on the phone, Mr. Policeman will get bored and just move away. Because it would be great if Mr. Policeman would move away, because I don't like him being so close.
How often does her blood sugar drop low?
I see her friend in Arizona said that that's the first time that's ever happened.
She normally has migraines, like a while ago, but she had them a lot this weekend.
Yeah.
So Cassie's a nurse. She figured it was because of blood pressure sugar was dropping.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't eating her normal that she normally eats. Like she took a couple bites and said she was full.
Okay.
And she
She doesn't ever black out or have seizures or anything like that.
No, I mean, a long time ago. She had a car wreck, and I believe that's what happened. But Metrix is something she takes for migraine. She took more Metrix this last month than she ever has before, but that's just because she was in North Carolina with the humidity and everything like that. She was there for 6 weeks, and we got back Monday or Tuesday.
Timothy Smith, if Ison might be the most thorough cop that there ever was. We don't know. He might just want us to think he's dumb as a sack of hammers. That might be his secret weapon, is that he looks like an idiot, but only looks like one. Really, he's like, just a machine, seeing everything, every permeation of possibilities that there is, computing it all into one series of equations, and then coming up with the solution. I mean, who knows with Ison? Hey, anyone in the chat who hasn't seen our Wendy Adelson talks to Detective General Ison footage, we've got a 4-part series revisited. Check it out on our channel page.
And then she flew out to Arizona Friday morning. And then she got back last night, about 2 a.m. Flight got delayed. She left about 11. She got here at 2.
Okay.
And I went to work this morning about 5:15, 5:30.
What do you do?
I work at oil and gas and Darko.
What do you do for them?
Operator.
Oh. Long days then?
Yeah, I definitely still be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a long day, especially in that heat.
You still glitching, Amy? We've just seen your comment. Is the video glitching, guys? It looks smooth for me, but it really needs to be smooth because we've got a motion video. So let us know in the comments, guys, if this video is shit. Man, hard to keep up with these comments.
There's no off text messages unless.
Can you look at your camera to see their security system to see when she left?
It's us who left out the front door.
Because you told me that she went on a play date with the girls, and then
That's what she told me.
Addie said you told her that
She went with some friends she wanted to go to a friend's house with the kids. That's why they weren't at school.
Addie said you told her that she left.
Yeah, she left to go on to the friend's house with the kids. Her car, it's here. The kids' car seats, they're in the car as well. Yeah, what Shanann did is she got on a magic carpet with the kids, and then the magic carpet flew them to the friend's house for the play date so she could decompress. What?
Oh no, she didn't live in the middle of the night. No.
Yeah.
Of course she didn't leave in the middle of the night. Of course I didn't load them into my truck in the middle of the night. What do you think this is?
Where do you get to go to school at?
Primrose and Vista Ridge.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah. No. Yeah, she said she was at her friend's house. That's what she told me she was going to do.
Nicholas.
I have no clue at whatsoever why she wouldn't take her cell phone. No.
Hey, Mrs. D. I'd love to hear about your final research project on the Russell Williams police interview by Jim Smith. Tell us more about that, or come and join us on Discord. Link in the description. We can have a one-on-one. We can have a group chat. Whatever. I'd love to know about your research project. We're coming up to covering the Russell Williams interview with Jim Smith, but I want to take a little bit more time on that one because, as I said yesterday, it is the highest standard interrogation example of well-used tactics that there is available in the public sphere, in the public arena. I mean, it is unimpeachable. It is unreachable. It is unfreaking believable. It is amazing. I challenge anybody to point to another interrogation that's available publicly online that we can see that is better run than that. It is the highest standard. So I'd love to hear more about your final research project, whatever that is.
It doesn't make any sense at all. She doesn't leave out the front door. Well, yeah, I can look at that and see. But it's so random because it goes off and on here lately. It gets false trips. It told me it was open when I got here. I know it doesn't make any sense at all. I'm not at law school. I don't know where she's at, where the kids are at.
I don't see her first, but she's
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Leah is showing to be one of our core community observers here, guys. About 5 weeks ago, I mentioned a caricature sketch that is in the Watts house. You know, those sketches that tourists get outside the Eiffel Tower, or I don't know, at the Washington Monument, or, you know, Times Square, maybe. Where they draw you as a cartoon, but if you have glasses, they'll draw really big glasses. Those caricatures that are all terrible. There's one in the Watts house that's just ridiculous, and I mentioned it like 5 weeks ago on another show. I don't even know which show. And Leah is asking me to point it out. God bless you, Leah. Yeah, I'll point it out as soon as I see it. I think I remember which wall it's on.
Only people that are out of state that she would contact would be in Arizona, be passing Josh, and there's no restriction out there.
The guy said that nobody left the house during the day. The only people that showed up in the driveway and entered it were us.
I can look. What's that?
your neighbor's camera.
Your neighbor, yes, cameras. He said that the only people that left the house were you in the morning and then the other shut up. But that's all he has.
I dropped her off.
Okay. But who left and then just. Okay.
So he's got no reaction to that at all, Chris. Like, did you all hear that? I don't know who. I think it was a cop. Another cop said, "Hey, we just been with your neighbor, and he's gone through all the footage of your house where he can see the doors clearly, and he's put it on 24 times speed, and he said that no one has come in or out since you left, and we got here. No one went in or out the house, Chris, and now there's no one in the house, Chris. How is that possible, Chris?" All right, he didn't say all that, but it's implied. And Chris just walks around the landing. Prick.
I'll see if I can get on that USA app or Chase app. See if I can get on it, please. I'll see. I will. All right, here's it.
Dispatch Rick 91. You can cancel medical if they're staged.
Chris is the last person who wants to watch.
Yeah, Leah, the picture is the one on the left. You can see there. Yeah, the black and white one. This one. That's it, but it's probably too small to see there. But keep your eye on there when the cop with the body cam goes past that wall, or maybe it comes up later. But at some point, there's a close-up of it, and it's terrible. It's horrible. And she's put it up in the house.
So, Rick, what time do you work?
Usually,
JC, welcome back from Steel Town. Hamilton girl.
once I get to work, it's like 6:30 to 3:30, 4 o'clock.
You usually work nights or days?
Days.
What time do you leave the day?
What time I leave there?
No, here.
Usually between 5:30 and 6.
Nice. And was Shannon here then?
Yes. Yeah, she was still in bed.
Does she usually watch the kids, or you have daycare watch them? Or?
Does anybody in the chat know what Columbo's first name was? It is only mentioned in one episode. See who can get that, huh?
Kids if they're not at school.
Okay.
Without looking it up, guys. If you look it up, you cheat. If you know, great. If you don't look it up and pretend like you know. Oh, hey, Christina. How you doing? Hey, I don't know if anybody else saw the message that someone left just after the stream last night on the Gabby Petito Brian Laundry. Was that last night? Yeah. Yeah, someone came on just after it finished being on air. Ooh, that sounds fancy. Yeah, after we aired, someone came onto the comments and they said, I'm unsubscribing. This has become the Christina and Rabbit comment show. Man, you two are like co-hosts. That's what I told to the commenter. I was like, listen, lady, you don't know what you're talking about. See you later.
At the pool?
Yeah.
The little rec center thing right here?
There's a pool right down there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been here for like off and on for 3 hours. Get nothing.
All right, I can run down there and check.
I don't see it.
Thanks, Callie.
You guys have any kind of issues, marital issues, or
We're going through separation.
you are? You guys filed yet or anything, or just talking about
No, we're gonna sell the house and do a separation.
it? And how's that going?
It's going
Civil for the most
civil.
part, or? Does your wife go to that swim pool often, or?
At just the
Jibs and jabs. You always seem a little bit argumentative to me. I don't have an opinion on Ison. That's the point. I don't know if he's a moron or a silver fox, you know. And we've got to get through the Katie McBanaway testimony before we cover the General Isom testimony on the stand. But I did have a little pre-look at it the other day, and he is bulletproof, baby. Bulletproof. But he certainly came across in the interviews with Jeffrey, with Tamara, with Wendy, as a bit of a dope. And, you know, for the longest time, for years, I've always been thinking that General Isom was completely under Wendy's spell, saw her as a victim, and all the rest of it. But lately I've been questioning whether he was putting on an act and letting her believe that he was under her spell so that she would continue to feel like she was in control, and see where that went. But I'm surprised that he wouldn't arrest her. Wow, that was a really loud motorcycle. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, I don't have opinions. I'm not on here to say strong opinions. I'm learning with all of you, you know. And that's part of the fun. So enjoy it, jibs and jabs, and stop jibbing and jabbing me.
Depends. I mean, on a hot day like this, I would say no.
Madison. I know. He loves to play with them. He's playing it all the time when we come over.
Look at him on this phone, Chris Watts. It's just like, yeah. Maybe if I stare at the phone really hard and put all my attention on this, people won't put their attention on me because I'm looking really busy trying to find my wife. We're going through a separation. I separated her from existence.
It says at 5:27 a.m. the overhead garage door 2 was left open and never shut. About that time. So either like when I pulled away and shut the door, it never shut. It was shut when you got here. So either the sensor was tripping out.
Oh, Mrs. D, look, come and join the Discord because I really want to talk to you. I would love to understand some more about your work and join in some kind of exploration of the linguistic pragmatic analysis of that interrogation. You know, I've been studying it for years. You know, it's one of the finest things. And, you know, one of my favorite things to observe about that particular interrogation is how easily you can reapply the same exact tactics to another situation that has nothing to do with law or murder or anything. You know, a lot of it could be applied to the closing room of a timeshare office. You know, it's a lot of it there's just so many sort of different places that you can place those tactics, and it's really once you can move it into another scenario, I think that really opens up the observation in a different way, you know. And then to the very much wider spectrum of all human behavior. You know, when Jim Smith goes to a restaurant and orders something from the waiter, he's probably using some of his skills, you know, that he used on Russell Williams. It's amazing.
She's happened before.
Yeah, I'd love to understand more about what you're doing, Mrs. D.
I tried to replace it 2 weeks ago. Before I left.
Oh, jibs and jabs. I'm not judging Isom on anything, all right? I've said my point.
It says the basement door was left open at 5:26. Visitor expected 1:48 after she got home. Then the visitor expected 12:10. That was when she came.
Were you able to pull up the video at the 12:10? See, was it front door?
12:10, that was Nikki.
That was you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was beeping at me out the field.
It's right there, Leah. That's the one. Next to Nicole there. Black and white sketch. That's not the kitchen, though. They're upstairs on the landing, the hallway.
I don't think she's good. Did she have that whole screen off? Anybody like this?
It was on the mic there. I'm not sure if that was
Is it off when she was like,
picked up close here.
Does she do her work from a laptop, or is it
Phone.
just from the phone?
what about your bank account?
I tried her logins are different than mine. I don't.
It's not a joint account.
It's a joint account, but like she controls all of it. Like she doesn't let me do the finances because I was pretty horrible back in the day, so she just kind of handles it.
It is Frank. Yeah, guys. And that's my name. So I'm really pleased that Columbo is called Frank. Because isn't he great? Peter Falk, best there is, man.
All that she does it. I have the apps on my phone, but I don't have her login to get into it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's.
Can you log into your account though?
I can. I don't have a laptop, but she has the one downstairs still. But her login, I don't know the login. Like I know the password, but I don't know her login. It's always the same password, which is one I don't have capital S W. But it's just a matter of getting the login.
Usually the first would show activity if she.
All right, if she's getting gas or
Yeah, somewhere.
what days does she typically do work?
All every day.
Every day.
Yeah, always.
What was the name of the company again?
Lebel. Lebel.
Where are they based out of?
But they don't have like they don't have like an office. It's just all.
Hi, y'all, Borg.
Does she have someone that she reports to, though?
She has her leaders, but they're both in Northeast.
Oh my God, Kurt. We've got to write this. We've got to find someone who can play Peter Falk and create an episode of Columbo that's based around the Markel murder. Is that what you've just written? Let me read it carefully. Columbo would have had all Adelsons behind bars long ago. Can you imagine how great that would be? I think there's a couple of episodes of Columbo where there's a dentist involved, but God, That's what I'm gonna go to sleep thinking of and writing in my mind. I might share some ideas when we get back to the Adelson case on the fantasy episode of Columbo where that he's confronting the Adelsons. Wow, nice one, Kurt. I love it.
Part of the country like that. She has Addie Maloney. She has Amanda Aikman. She has
Yeah, California Amy. I love Isom. You know, I don't like Patrick Sanford. He just annoys me. He's just too cop. There's like no person in there anymore. It's just a cop. But Isom I like. So I don't know what Jibs and Jabs has got a big issue with. It just wants to cause fuss.
And Paisley.
Okay. What, do you have her phone number? Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you say her last name was?
Yeah, Kurt, Tamara is gorgeous, number one. But number two, very emotionally intelligent. That's always a plus in my book. You know, just a very gentle, kind, caring, nice, friendly soul. You know, you put that standing side by side, Wendy Adelson, and you know that you're talking night and day.
There was no note or anything by the wedding ring. Is any of her clothes, anything like that missing?
Hugh, I would love to be a detective or a lawyer. I'd love to just step in for Christopher DeCoste sometimes. I really reckon I could do that, you know. If I just said, okay, now I'm going to be a lawyer and I'm going to be Christopher DeCoste. Miss Adelson, this is all about you. I would just love that. The freedom to just head it home to Wendy Adelson. This, millions watching. There's 100 people in this courtroom because of your bad marriage. Yeah, Christina, but on the inside, he's a wreck. You know, on the inside, he doesn't know what to do. You know what he's thinking? He's thinking, oh, I hope Nicole Kessinger's birthday present arrives on time because I got her a locket, heart-shaped, for her necklace. And inside, I will put a picture of me and her when we're kissing on the sand dunes, because we like to go to the sand dunes because she's so fun. She's so fun and helps me explore areas of myself that Shanann had lost interest in. And I feel like a real person now.
Somebody came pick her up, but the people.
Jibs and Jabs, you're reshaping what I said and insisting that I have an opinion that I have not declared. Yeah, so that's not on, and I don't want to get into an argument about it with you because what you're saying doesn't even exist. Okay, so either drop it and move on to some other topic, or not, you know, but I'm done with it.
That I know, nobody's heard from them, nobody's seen it.
Right. Who do you guys bank with?
Chasing USA.
Definitely an odd one.
I don't know what I can do right now. So drive around like the normal route that she would be.
Oh, he'd love to do that, wouldn't he? To get out of the house, to drive around. Shall I get out there and drive around to the normal route that she would be? Because I know where she would normally be to decompress. Because we had an emotional conversation last night, and I think she will need to decompress.
Where does she normally go to?
I mean, just like drive where like she would normally take the kids to school. People that I know that live down, people that live, Kristen lives down that way. I mean, that's the only routes I know she would take.
Does she go to their house frequently, or?
And not much, but. Hey. I'm still talking to the officer right now. Okay, bye. I will, definitely. Bye-bye. Sorry about that. Tell them all. Anything is smart, just drive around, see if I mean.
Yeah, probably not, because, I mean, you don't know what car she's in, where she's at. I mean, obviously, you're not going to see her car. It's here.
Well, I know Amanda's out of town because her brother died.
Yeah.
She's not flying back till the day. And the other one she's really close with that I know is Sarah.
Who else did you have to do?
Yeah, Leah, he did fly the Queen and Prince Philip. And one time I put a microphone, a lapel microphone, onto Prince Philip. So I put a microphone onto someone who was flown by Russell Williams.
Yeah,
Just wait for her here.
up there.
Well, I've got my detective coming, just because this is kind of an odd situation. See if we can try to get her pinpointed down, find a friend or something.
Okay.
He may have you call the bank.
Okay. Hey, sir, it's Chris Watson. Not too bad. Have you heard from Shane today? No, I have not. I was just, you're my last person to call. So I just, all right. I don't want to make you nervous or anything, but I'll keep you posted. No. Okay, thank you. Bye.
And she lives around here.
She lives in Aurora.
Or
Matilda, the format of Columbo is not only how he figured it out, but, you know, there's a societal comment, because the killer is always some sort of elitist figure that thinks that there's no way that they're going to be outsmarted by this scruffy, smelly, disheveled, cigar-smoking cop. You know, there's this judgment thing that happens, and you know, it's like a fable story to say, you know, things aren't always as they seem, or something. You know, it's fantastic. It's the best show there is. And, you know, how long did it run for? The last ever episode is like in the 1989. He's at an ecstasy rave. You know, it's really weird. It went through all that time, and suddenly Columbo is at an ecstasy rave.
You okay?
Here, I want you to answer. Yes. Jeez. Smelly. Did you go potty? You need a diaper? Yeah? Alright. Good.
How long you been in oil field?
Since 2015, well, Antarctica 2015 January, Covenant year before that. After that, I worked on cars for 11 years.
You liking it?
I love the fact that I don't have to get carpal tunnel on my wrist. That's what I left it for. But car business for.
Right.
Because it was destroying my body. So I feel it's less repetitive as far as the same stuff over and over, just doing that all the time.
Right.
A lot of lifting, but other than that, it's perfect for what it is. It gives me time with the kids. Like I used to be on an 8 days on, 6 days off, but now I'm on 5 and 2, so I'll go back 8 and 6 next month. So I'll be getting a lot more time with the kids. That's what I'm excited about.
Right.
Get for a break.
Did she have any medical conditions other than lupus?
Fibromyalgia, rosacea. She thought she had RA, but she took a lot of medication in North Carolina. She stopped a bunch of it when she moved here. But she has some flare-ups here and there.
When did she move here?
She moved here in 2012.
Okay. No, like recent. Is she taking any kind of medication?
Metrix for migraines and some Monte class for like allergies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And some stuff for nausea.
No, nothing's changed as far as medication-wise?
Not that I know of. Nothing she said.
Any kind of behavioral changes, anything like that recently?
Going through a separation. That's the only behavior changes that seem to be more emotional. When we talk, you know.
Okay. Tell them I'll be there in just a minute.
Yeah, finally caught up with the chat, guys. Sorry, I've been slacking off on this commentary, but I've got through. Yeah, obvious troll is obvious. Can I ban people? Like, give me a break. The energy. It's just like, what is your problem with your energy? You know? It's like, I don't know. It's like a disease, isn't it? I guess you just ignore it. Yeah. Let's move on. Yeah, a lot of people would pronounce those two words exactly the same, Christina. I don't know why people have trouble with that. Do they think I've spelled it wrong or something? Like fancy fiction's like, oh, hi, true crime Matrix.
You can see him click task.
Are you able to record this?
Uh-huh. I'd have to call Comcast so I can get him to do whatever. But watch, just see him get out. And he walks back and forth a couple times. To be completely honest with you, my wife and I were kind of wondering when she was on vacation if something happened, because I've heard them full out screaming at each other at the top of their lungs, and he gets crazy.
Does he? And that's pretty recently.
Yeah.
Has that ever been confirmed that they were having screaming matches in the house that neighbors could hear? I mean, I don't remember ever like seeing a text that Shanann wrote referring to that, because all of her texts came out. Did everyone see the Netflix film of this with actors? It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I'm guessing that's why she went and visited people, is because she wanted to get away situation.
The worst part of it was the film, the production version of this story was the interrogations, man. The cops, we watch it in real life and it's the most gripping thing you've ever seen. And in the production version, it was just so, classic, just, daytime TV, film for TV movie. And it was just like, come on. It was just like, but when did you see her last? The way that they build pressure, it was like, this is so less better than real life. Just put the interrogation on, which we will be doing, guys. Hey, thanks, Matilda 2. Why is it Matilda 2 now? That's the same Matilda, isn't it? I think so. I can only see a tiny picture of your picture, but yeah, thank you, Matilda, and thank you again, Cat Lady. Wonderful, wonderful people.
Explaining himself over and over what he's getting exactly what he's doing exactly, because that's not him. He's usually really quiet. You want to look? That's the back of his truck. That's what he has right here.
Yeah, Christina doesn't want us to skip, guys. So, she is one of our core community members. I'd even say co-hosts, along with Rabbit, of course. What did that comment say yesterday? I'm unsubscribing. This has become the Christina and Rabbit show. That sounds like a great show. The Christina and Rabbit show. Brilliant. Can't get enough.
What's your phone number?
It just seems kind of odd to me. Why would he pull that stuff up?
Ryan B is sorry he's late, but he had to load up his work truck with his lunchbox, his water jug, his computers, his lug nuts, his O-rings, his flat nose screwdriver, drill saw, toolbox. But he's here now. Yeah, don't forget your book bag, man. Hi, Ryan.
Right.
Yeah, I've never seen him.
I've never seen him. If he loads his stuff, he normally just walks back and forth because I get him on camera.
What does he usually load up?
All he usually has is a lunchbox and a book bag, looks like a computer, and usually a water jug. That's it. But the fact that he was in here and explaining to it over and over and over.
Talk about, what's that expression? Takes a village, right? I mean, the cameras help, sure, but all of this feedback from the friend, from the neighbor, from the family, just, I mean, I don't think that's available in every case. They had it all with this one, though. Everything they need.
Well,
He doesn't look worried. He looks like he's trying to cover his tracks. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And if he's loading his stuff, why isn't he walking back and forth? But I can't see what he's doing in the back of the truck because he pulled into the garage. Yeah. And he knows my camera's there.
Any other neighbors have cameras around here, you know?
I'm sure a bunch of them do, but not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah, have you seen the Jodi Arias Lifetime movie, Leo. I've watched it like 3 times. It's absolutely terrible, but I quite like watching it for some reason.
Hey, I'll look at it.
Yeah,
I'll do a search here in a minute.
all these boards kept coming up missing, so we moved in here. I put this in. And like you said, someone was breaking into it. He said that someone was breaking into his toolbox of his truck.
Thank you,
So I told him to
Christina.
park
You so fine.
his truck out there in case they saw something. Diesel, I know you want to go play with the baby so bad.
Her mom was texting me that she wanted to work. She didn't have a GPS tracker. Truck that was everywhere he goes.
Okay.
Don't you think it's, look at them.
I know. I'm
kinda
trying not to.
No, I'm just saying it's kind of odd that he pulls his truck back behind my camera. The cutoff, the truck's in the garage right now. And he never backs his truck into the
That's
driveway.
what her friend Christina was doing.
Diesel.
She's like, he never backs his truck up. Her mom said it too. She's like, he carries his stuff out of the house. He doesn't back his truck up.
Well, I have him on camera doing that when he does it. Because when he was parking his truck over here, the other thing was odd is while she was gone, he kept parking his truck and her car over here. And I used to see him walk out of his house right here.
Took the car out of the garage?
Oh, the car.
The thing is about doorbell cameras, guys, is even if it's still at that point, at least for me in my world, where I know about them, but if I had to move a body, I would probably forget about them somehow. You know, it's just not really in your constant consciousness yet. But in generations to come, it will be, right? It'll be like, you know, part of your thinking. I'm on film. Great. You wouldn't believe the laws on public surveillance in Portugal. It's basically not allowed. There's basically no cameras anywhere. You know, of course, in businesses, in large supermarkets and, you know, real shops, but traffic cameras aren't allowed. Even speed cameras, there aren't any. You know, it's just they've got this thing of we're not going to film the public. And I say, great.
I was parked over there for a long time, like a couple days.
This past weekend?
No.
It was when she was gone for the 6 weeks.
Oh,
But I thought it was kind of odd that he never parked in front of here or right here. He said someone broke into his truck and he parked over there. I have no idea.
Yeah, Leo, that's what it's called. Dirty little secret. It's worth a watch. It's terrible, but it's one of those that's good because it's terrible.
Hey, he's acting so suspicious. He's normally, you can ask them, he's normally quiet, real subdued. He's over here telling you 3 times what he took out, what he did. He's very, he never talks. So the fact that he's over here blabbing his mouth makes me kind of suspicious.
yeah, but I mean, put yourself in his situation.
Oh, I agree.
You know, anyone's going to be nervous. You don't know what to do.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying the way he...
Sarah Boone is October 7th, guys. 3 days before her own birthday. Her birthday is the 10th, October 10th. So, you know, she'll certainly be in trial celebrating when she's turning 47.
told you 3 times what he brought with him. Why is he telling you exactly what he brought with him instead of saying, oh, they didn't see anybody out here, you didn't see anybody doing anything? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why is he so worried about you knowing what he's carrying out? That's all I'm saying.
The detective is talking to him.
What's that?
The detective is talking to him.
He's talking to him right now? Okay.
Jodi Arias case is going to be a big one on this channel, guys. I've been through the entire trial at least 6 times. You know, I used to just have it on constantly when I was coding for weeks at a time on a double monitor. You know, You know, I lived and breathed it for a long, long time, and then I'd have a break, and then I'd come back to it and do it all again. It was, you know, it was like my life for ages. So Jodi Arias is going to be a big cover on this channel, guys, and I don't care what anybody says. If Timothy, somebody goes, well, I prefer when you're covering the Adelson case, but I will permit you to cover the Jodi Arias case. Well, that's very nice of you, Tim. But we're doing it whether you like it or not. But you're welcome anytime, man, really. Yeah, so anyone who would like to see the Jodi Arias case, who hasn't yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Because you know what it's like. You'll go away, you'll forget all about us, you won't come back, and then you'll have missed it and missed the conversation, and then you'll have to live with the guilt, remorse, regret, and shame that follows. So don't let that happen. Subscribe to the channel. Oh, have we done the wedding ring yet? Yeah. I've missed loads. I've really taken my eye off the ball.
We had got it on camera if they're coming in and out stuff.
Possibly. I mean, it didn't pick her up going in from when you dropped her off.
But I
stairs.
did wait. I know she made it in the house because I waited till she shut the front door.
Right, but his video just showed you
Yeah, I know.
backing out, so there's a gap there that
Yeah.
didn't pick up.
Do these neighbors have cameras?
I'm gonna walk it here in a minute. And
I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But I wouldn't surprise me if the people next door do.
right, yeah, I don't see any on that one or that one. Just
Yeah,
looking, but
he doesn't either. He's got a big old German Shepherd that he says is his protection.
yeah, works a little better than a camera.
If he was out here right now, you'd know.
Yeah,
Barney gets a little crazy when he sees people he doesn't know. He's knocked out the pickets post, or the pickets.
yeah.
Because he runs and takes the fence. He's knocked the pickets down. Oh, her mom warned me when we first moved in. Her mom was like, that dog's so mean.
Yeah.
Did she walk
I don't know.
the driveway or did she walk through the
She walked through the right here because I pulled up. Do you
Yeah,
want
I'm
to talk to
trying to
police
record it.
officer? This is your mother.
Cool. Hey, how are you? Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, Christina, I love your comments. Your comments are on my Mount Rushmore of comments. You know, they're not all of them, but you've had some really good ones, dynamite ones. What was that one you said the other day? That, who was it about? Wendy. Yeah, it was about Wendy. About the person she hates most is herself. That seems so easy if you know. But if you don't, it's mind-blowing. And if you take it deeper and deeper and deeper, I keep mulling, you know, writing an open letter and publishing it to Wendy. And I think, you know, I think of all of the things that I wouldn't want that letter to be. And it's not really for the purpose of her own consumption. I think she's probably unreachable in terms of allowing anything I could possibly say to affect her in any way. But you know, it might help other people. You know, I think there will be a lot of people, women, who might see themselves in some of Wendy's ridiculous behavior and be trying to come to terms with that. You know, Wendy could have done that. Wendy could have sought help for her condition. And a lot of people do. A lot of people go down that road, you know, because there's a genetic component to Wendy's condition, but there's also a environmental, you know, developmental component to Wendy's condition. And Wendy has chosen to just keep doubling down on the darker side of her nature, right? But some people with a similar disposition are able to, you know, swim onto the side and climb out of the pool, you know? And I think there might be some people in the world who are doing that because they've seen themselves in Wendy. So maybe we can't help Wendy, but maybe we could help some other people. Wouldn't that be great?
What is your name? Sandra? Can you spell your last name for me?
Oh, is this where they pull the bed sheets out of the trash? The same bed sheets that the matching part of the bed sheet, that the same pattern that they find in the desert next to the grave that he obviously wrapped Shanann in to drag her out to the truck. Yeah. No, I always just throw my bed sheets away. Yeah. I mean, who does that? I think everyone's got bed sheets that they've had for 30 years, just in a folded pile somewhere in the house, right? Because you're always like, well, you know, you never know. You never know. We might need to paint a room. We could use it to cover the floor when we paint a room. Or, you know, who throws that? And it's like probably brand new. Everything in their house is brand new, right? Shanann doesn't have old bed sheets. Chris is just like, oh, I'll just throw that out. Well, you know, we've left the other part of the pillowcases in the desert, so we'll just throw this out and not empty the trash. God, it reminds me of Stephen McDaniel.
What is your date of birth, Sandra? What's your phone number?
Yeah, 544. This chat is really clued in, and there's very, very limited amount of shit shakers come into this chat. You know, occasionally we get a jib here and a jab there from no one of any particular name, but soon those people go away, and you know, it's very fantastic. But it's only happened once or twice, or twice or thrice.
Okay. So how would you describe their relationship recently? Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thanks, Hugh. But I think I've got to be really more disciplined in pausing the video all the time to you know, I seem lately I just seem to spend most of the time having the video playing in the background, reading comments, and then pausing to comment without commenting on the video, which is supposed to be the whole point. So yeah, we're fine tuning. We're fine tuning at True Crime Metrix. It's just a constant race to get through these comments, guys. We're not complaining. We love the comments coming in.
Sandy's calling you.
That's your mom. Is that who you're talking to?
It keeps beeping.
That's probably just technical.
Oh.
Yeah, Matt, I've had pity for Wendy Adelson. You know, she's clearly mentally ill, you know, but there comes a point. There comes a point when, you know, you can't keep using that card. You know, there's a responsibility. There's a responsibility that people have. There's help available out there. There's lots of help available out there. And if you're a grown, educated woman with a load of money, with a load of support, with, you know, she could have the best help in the world. She has the same lawyer as Donald freaking Trump, for God's sake. You know, she can get good professionals at her disposal. And if you constantly ignore the responsibility to get help with your issues that make her behave in the way that she does, my pity diminishes. You know, it goes on until a point, but at some point you have to say enough is enough. You've had your chances. You know, a lot of these guys, you know, Russell Williams, clearly you've got some mental problems. Clearly there is some really difficult stuff that you've been carrying throughout your life. But you could have got help with it, Russell. You were the colonel of CFB Trenton, for God's sake. You know, and you didn't get help. And the result was 2 dead women killed brutally, one of them insanely brutally. And then just almost, well, not countless, but, you know, many traumatized. You think those women who he was going into the house of and moving their sex toys and typing on the computer, "I'd love to show the judge your dildos," as their screensaver, he'd type that and leave it on as their screensaver. Do you think they're ever going to feel the same again about anything? No, once you fuck with someone's head like that, you've changed their life forever. And why? Because you had these difficult underlying issues that you've carried with you since you were a child, and you've allowed them to grow, take root, get worse instead of getting the help you needed. I'm very sympathetic to all sorts of stuff, you know. But there comes a point when you have to say, okay, you're done. You've gone too far now.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. 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 That's kind of the impression everyone's telling me. We're not finding her purse.
Yeah, this thing about Wendy's childhood, Charlie's childhood. I think what it is basically they had it instilled in them that to put it in a sentence, we could go on a real tangential, borrowing a Wendy word there, tangential course here, but they were taught from a young age that the thing that matters is the result, not the journey. Something like that. It's all about the status. You need to be first prize, and the only thing that matters is being first prize. It doesn't matter if you cheat to get there. It doesn't matter if you buy your answers for your exam. It doesn't matter if Papa Harvey knows a guy at the school that can sort you out a scholarship, on the sly. It doesn't matter. It's the result that matters. When that's very poor parenting, isn't it? Because the real important thing to anything is the reason a status matters in the first place is because it's recognizing your journey of growth to achieve that status. If you just cheat and get the status by purchasing it or getting a favor or whatever, it's not the same. And it doesn't look like that the Adelson parents, Donna and Harvey, ever introduced that concept, and it stayed with Charlie visible all the way through his trial, all the way after the trial, when he's like, well, we bought Josh Dubin. We paid $1 million for him to pick the jury. And if we do that, then we're supposed to win. He doesn't have a concept of why that might not work because it's just not been shown to him by the people that raised him. So it's very sad. But you know what? Robert did recognize that it was an unhealthy environment and an unhealthy education and stepped out of it.
Right.
And, obviously he's doing better than, not being a co-conspirator in the plot.
Yep. Yeah, I've already looked back there. Right. Not yet. We're just trying to figure out if she's missing at this point. And right. Mm-hmm. That started today. What school is that? Primrose? What town is that in? Okay. No, that was this morning at like 5:30.
Hey, great, Mrs. D. Thanks for joining Discord. I'm almost thinking that maybe Leo, you want to come in and we can. I think we can make a special thread, like for linguistics or something. I don't know. I'll have to log in and check it out how we do that.
Okay.
Yeah, Leah, I agree. You know, now it's at the point the only thing she deserves is to have her head on a stick.
3050. Okay. All right. Yeah. As soon as we find her.
You've read, Leo, you've just read This Is Our Story. I was going to buy it from Amazon in Spain the other day, but it was 30 bucks. And if I buy it from the UK Amazon, it's only £5. But I can't, they won't send things to Portugal anymore because of Brexit. So I don't want to spend $30 on her book. So I'm looking for another way to get a hold of it, but I also want to read it.
Figure something out. We will let you know. Right. Bye.
All right.
You got a minute?
Yeah. Are you okay if we just walk through that and then look at her phone if it's still up there?
Yeah, okay. I guess.
Okay, guys, they've sent in the Eagle Eye detectives now. I don't think they've got the cadaver dogs in there yet, but they're coming. We're going to have drones in the air before the day is out. You know, I mean, this tidal wave, the Chris Watts has had basically no sleep. He's done a load of hard physical work. I mean, Shanann, I'm not saying she was fat or anything, but she wasn't like super petite, and she was pregnant. You know, lifting a lifeless body is very difficult. You know, I've heard. And then he dug a shallow grave, carried his kids. All right, they're really small, but still, it all adds up. You know, he's had a very tough day, running around everywhere. He's no sleep. He's come back to this house. The the eagle-eye detectives are coming in. Hey, you just mind if we walk around one more time? You know, now that we've got eagle eyes here, and then later we're gonna bring the dogs. Yeah, we're gonna bring the dogs, and they're gonna sniff around, see if they can pick up on anything. Any those aren't those dogs amazing who can smell that someone was in distress, you know, because of a certain hormone in the sweat that's given off or something like that. They pick it up and they go, yeah, there was definitely distress was here. Amazing. So nice.
Phone's in here? Yes, we're upstairs. This is her.
Do you have any current pictures of her?
You know, any detective's going to look at that bed and just go, okay, so where are the sheets, man? You know, everything else in here is put together perfectly, but there's this huge four-poster bed with no sheets. How much do you think that bed cost? It's got to be like 3 G's, huh? At least.
They're pretty recent though.
What's that?
This strip's pretty recent.
That was last year.
Absolutely, Timothy. There is definitely the whiff of some sexual situation in that family. You know, Charlie and Donna act like some couple. I mean, they really talk way too close on the phone. Not just the fact that they talk every day, but the style in which they go into conversations is almost romantic. It's weird. And it could be that is all there without actual sex acts, you know, physical intimacy going on, you know. But who knows? And Harvey just looks like a perv, you know.
This suitcase yet?
Yeah. No, it's downstairs.
Is that the one down there?
Yeah. Sorry.
That one's empty. I didn't see anything on those. Right here.
So, their daughter, she's totally with
Katrina's?
she didn't say she didn't know that, but where she's with
Actually, Udi, it's a quote from Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, who was referencing Ted Bundy. Who the quote is something like Ted Bundy would see a beautiful woman walking down the street, and part of him would think, hey, what it would be like to ask her out, maybe take her to dinner, have a date, and the other part of him would think what her head would look like on a fucking stick. Yeah. I'll get an invite. Hang on, guys. I'm just gonna put an invite. How do I do that? Okay, give me a second. Oh, can I? Oh, a text channel. I think that's. Linguistics. So this is a text channel. Create channel. Oh, fuck. Hang on, guys. I'm just trying to get this link for some people. Okay, guys. So in the chat, there is a link for a special Discord thread on our True Crime Metrix server, specifically for discussion on linguistics. So, Leo, there you go. And who was it? Mrs. D, is it? Mrs. D. You can join that if you want. And who else said something about linguistics? Anyone who's interested in linguistics, there's a link to a Discord or a section of Discord. I don't know what the terminologies are, guys. Let's just see what happens. Just on the subject of dogs, did anyone see the body cam footage when the cops went to Joel Guy Jr.'s house and they found like his mother's head in a boiling pot and cut up hands around the house and horrible shit like that? And there was this dog that had been shut with no food or water in a room for days, you know, howling, and it's just the most heartbreaking, horrible noise. Major trauma for the dog. And obviously the cops are just letting it stay in a locked room for now because they've got enough to deal with. But all through the body cam video, you just hear this poor dog like freaking out. Oh man, it breaks my heart every time.
I don't know, man.
Skipping ahead a little bit here.
Yeah, man, it's like a piece of wax or something. It's not blood. I don't see any signs of a struggle. Nothing's broken.
What I don't understand is, like, her phone is her life.
Right, and her purse and her wallet. I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah, Leo says, I don't know. He doesn't know if anyone's gone down the Thrive rabbit hole on this case, but the Wattses were serial multi-level marketing sellers, and those companies are so toxic. Yeah, I remember hearing about that, like, oh, he was always having the Thrive patch and the protein shakes, and he had all that weight loss. Maybe the Thrive patch messed with his brain chemistry. It's like freaking Michael Draker with the monster drinks, right? And I don't like the idea of this Thrive patch thing or any multi-level marketing company, but this is really simple. I don't know why it needs to be overcomplicated by things, because he was having an affair and he thought that girl was nicer. He liked himself more when he was with her. He didn't want to just get a divorce because it would cost him too much money and bind him to Shanann for the next 20 years. It's a long time. He's only 32 in this video, 32. I mean, he looks 42 at least, but he's only 32 years old here. So 20 years ago, he was a 12-year-old boy. It's a long time. And he just looked at it and he said, well, maybe I can get away. I'll just kill them all. And I'll say that they went away and didn't come back. I mean, it really is that simple, I think. And he just had no concept of how that would really work in reality.
shoes, like the woman swears by those shoes. She orders pairs of them every year. She wears them during winter. She thinks they have socks on.
Those are the ones she normally wears.
She has no home. That's her suitcase.
This is the suitcase she had yesterday.
Hi, Lee. Welcome back. Good to see you.
The stuff she had last night.
Yep. What's this? This is just some Antarctica stuff. Is that your stuff? Yeah, that's the stuff I was going to give to people because they don't fit me anymore. Oh, these are your jeans? Yeah, it's like 38s. They're way too big now.
Absolutely, Leo. I agree with this. This part, this hunger that's created in multi-level marketing. This thing where every second of the day that you're not achieving something for your MLM company is a wasted second. It's just overloading, right? It totally swallows you up to the point where you just become this obsessed. You know, Rabbit keeps commenting on how neat and organized this house is. That would drive me insane. I would hate that. I was in a client's house recently and it was like, what is this? It's like a hotel. You know, it's fine when you're in a hotel because you're only there for a couple of days or whatever, or, you know, a week or 2 weeks. I don't know. But, you know, there you go out and you come back and everything's put back together again by the housekeeping. But in your own home, for me, it lacks personality. And you can tell that any time that she wasn't doing MLM, she'd be out shopping for something for the house, come back. Oh, we've got another 4-poster bed for the guest room. Oh, great. I've got to spend the weekend setting that up. He wants to go to the car museum and the sand dunes.
Okay, well, give us a call or anybody if you hear anything from her. Otherwise, I'm going to start putting together just in case we need to pull the trigger for a missing person. Yeah, I'm going to try to run some things down using her phone and then see if we can't find somebody. If nobody's heard anything at all, then we'll probably pull the trigger a little bit quicker. Go that route, so.
I can't see that happening, Jarl Borg. I think she could beat him up anyway, Nicole. And but I don't think he's advanced enough to, you know, go that far. I mean, how far can you go past what he did already? But if Nicole had come round on his own, would he have smothered her with a sofa cushion? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he was just trying to tell everyone to back off. Like, she's gone somewhere. She's at a friend's house. Play date. Decompressing. Just give me some time.
I mean, you can do that now.
The thing is, right, we saw this in the Chandler Halderson case. We saw this in the Grant Armato case. What happened in those cases? Well, in Grant Armato's case, he could only think, you know, to the point where he could freely be in communication with Sylvie, and how he felt about what it would be like when he could be freely in communication with Sylvie without his parents in the way, without his brother in the way, was that he would have reached his self and that everything would have been all right then, right? Chandler Halderson just needed to maintain this lie. He couldn't have it coming out that he'd been lying about being a scuba diver, about having a job, about attending Madison Tech, you know, about SpaceX and the injury and all the rest of it. If that lie came out, everybody in his life would go away. His girlfriend, his girlfriend's parents, you know, the whole, he would have been seen to be, he couldn't let that happen. He couldn't be revealed to be what he was. So he could only think about neutralizing that threat against his own mask. It didn't matter about how am I going to get away with this in the long term, because the only important thing to him at that moment was maintaining his mask. Grant Amato was a bit different, kind of leaning the other way, where he wanted to be wearing his mask. Chris Watts is, again, a little bit different, but they're all related. They're all the same. Chris Watts tells himself that the only thing that matters is that he can be with Nicole Kessinger, you know? So Shanann and the kids need to go, and we'll be able to come up with something later. You know, I'll say to Nicole that we should move to Texas or Mexico or North Carolina or Oregon, you know, and he'll come up with something. But it's just about getting to that little spot where he feels comfortable again. There's other cases, you know. Chris Watts isn't a gamer. That's a relief.
There's no reason. I mean, as far as like walking through fields and stuff like that,
No, I mean like call hospital.
you can do that now. If you guys want to start that, there's no reason you can do that right now.
Okay.
Absolutely. So the other things I'm going to do is a little more detail as far as digging into friends and addresses and things like that. But by all means, yeah, if you want to call hospitals and hotels even, so she's checked in anywhere, whatever. But all right, I'll start with the friends list of maybe friends either one of you know about. So,
I've called everybody that I know that she would call and talk to.
Okay. She has one of those numbers, because I've got some of these. So. Okay. Want to talk before we go?
What about bank account checking into that? Do we need account numbers or anything, or have him call?
Yeah, find any credit cards. That's why I was asking about the credit cards, if there are any missing. But none of yours are missing either.
Cash? She usually carry cash with her, or no? Still in there.
Okay. So I'll get your numbers. So I'll be in touch. Every one of us will be in touch. We got it. There's some things we have to do before we go just flat out with some person. Stuff to do.
Is it good or bad that you know my son? I just want to ask.
I know everyone.
Comes with the job.
Yeah.
I'm with you there, Leah. I think Nicole could take him any day of the week, you know, with one arm behind her back. You know, easy, blindfolded.
Bad.
No, not bad. He's friendly.
Well, good or bad, I get to contact everyone eventually.
Okay. So if it does go missing first, it'll be like set like a. I'm not sure like how that works. No, actually, it's really not that. Okay. Yeah, it's really not like that. What it'll be is in the computer system, so when she pops up somewhere, and then on top, everybody looking around, asking around. So really, what it is, we're going to go back and do now will be part of that process, the missing persons process. Just because we want to find out where she is. The kiddo is involved. Yeah. So they definitely want to run that part of it.
Is this a pretty current picture? No.
I've got one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, Facebook is old. So.
Okay.
So that's where we start, and then like I said, we're going to start calling around by all means. Anything we can think of. And if they don't go covering any of the bases, we can call.
Hey, Kate McGuire, you mean Munchausen's by proxy? I think I have heard that before, but I can't remember the details. In what way would Shanann Watts be Munchausening her daughters? Oh, right. with the peanut allergy thing, Nutgate. Well, she had an EpiPen, the kid, and she had a serious allergic reaction to almonds or something, where her throat closed up. So I don't know how that could be a Munchausen's thing. Maybe Shanann was a bit over protective. I don't think that's really counting as Munchausen's. It's not like does everyone know that case? What was her name? The girl who was, her mother shaved her head and said she had leukemia and had her teeth removed and said all this stuff. I mean, put her in a wheelchair so she would get money from the community after Katrina. What was her name? Rose something. Gypsy Rose. Yeah. That would be a Munchausen's case. I can't see that correlating very closely with Shanann Watts, really.
So, I mean, I've seen people do some really weird things, especially with shouting news, and especially for women, it's real hard. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. It's just, it is what it is. They do some crazy things sometimes, and things are going to change dramatically in their lives. All right, but we'll see. We'll run it down. Thank you. Okay.
What? You're not going to be open.
You know, Mom, stuff?
We're going to go get in the car so we can go home.
You really want to?
Uh-oh.
How long have you guys been married?
So, been together 8 years, married 6 this year.
Okay. And this is very unusual behavior?
Yeah, let me get that dog out of here.
Okay.
She's gonna flip.
She's on the counter right here.
Okay. So when you guys come home, do you usually use the front door, the garage door? How do you guys?
I usually open the garage door, come in.
Okay.
She's trying our garage. It kind of depends.
Okay. Is that a ring out there?
Oh, that was.
No, the doorbell, is that a ring doorbell?
Yeah, like when you got a visitor, it does. But I don't think
I guess my question for you is, would it show her leaving with the kids? Did you have any alerts?
If she came out here, yes.
Did you have any alerts today with that?
Just when her friends were here.
Does it only record when the doorbell rings or anytime someone?
If you're right here, it should just start, the proximity should hit up.
Okay, and if you had anything on that today?
Just her friends.
Man, you can tell the cops are getting a little bit impatient. They're like, okay, Chris, listen, stop acting like you give a shit, okay? We're going through the motions here to gather evidence against you. Let's be clear on that, okay? So stop acting like we're believing you, because we're not.
And what time was that?
12:10, and about 10 after 2 minutes afternoon.
Okay. But nothing between the time when she got here.
No, like she got here at 2. Only thing
This morning?
Yeah, 2 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
Like 1:48 on here. And the only thing that was weird was that the garage door said is left open after I left. And it might have been the sensor, but
Like my phone doesn't show when
For your alarm?
Yeah, it doesn't show if it shuts.
And who's your alarm through?
Vivid.
Okay.
But the Nikki, her friend that came here about 12:10, she said the garage door was shut when she got here.
Okay.
That was the only thing that was weird.
All right. Were you going to hang out there, or you want to come in here? Okay. Where's the percent?
On the counter.
I'm still recording, so.
Yep.
Hi. Hi. Shut up. So, Leo, are you saying that Shanann was on these FB posts and in groups for Mediterranean syndrome and all sorts of other rare illnesses? Are you saying that she was on those groups to gather convincing information so that she could purport that her daughters had these illnesses falsely? I mean, I've never heard any evidence to suggest that she would do that, but I have seen evidence that she's like meticulous, and I can't think with this friggin' dog here. Please shut up. Okay, let's play the video.
Look through this.
Whose phone is that?
I believe that is his. Bomb overtook hers. That's for vomiting.
Is that a diary, or what is that?
It's for work, I believe. I was thinking it was possibly a diary, but it's talking about like motivation stuff.
Okay, catch you later, Leo. Nice one. Speak to you soon.
How did you say the kids were?
I think they're around 4-ish. They're pretty young.
This is very neat.
Matt, piece of broken glass, sir. Do you remember when we tried to go through that descriptor and break it down into what it might mean poetically? I still am lost with that one. Completely lost, you know. Yeah, I got to come back to it. I think I'm gonna use it as a launch point to write a full piece of poetry. You know, I'm not gonna be a piece of broken glass, sir. Or is it? What sounds better? I'm not gonna be a piece of broken glass, sir. Or I'm not going to be a broken piece of glass, sir. They're very similar. It's kind of funny that you can say them both ways. I'll think about that. I need to write them both down and examine them.
For having 2 little kids. Who's got asthma?
I don't know. Kids need medication too, and apparently she didn't take their medication either.
Celeste. This is all their medication.
That's
Yeah,
the
Celeste, the kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's albuterol for a nebulizer.
Yeah, Christina, how many people are doing that, huh? You get a job that takes up 100% of your time, which, you know, if it's depending on what it is, that could be great. But, you know, multi-level marketing, direct sales is all about, you know, it's cutthroat, isn't it? It's not a holy art. It's not a decent thing to do. It's a pressure thing to do for numbers on a spreadsheet, you know, and the overly large home, you know, the ridiculous cookie cutter mansion, you know, if there's 500 houses on that estate, I think there were only 4 variants, you know, so every 4th house is that house, and then they'll probably have the same house but, you know, mirror image, right? I mean, what a horrible, I can't stand those places. Dependency on big pharma. Yeah, gotta have these drugs every day. It's sad that that is quite a typical mentality of our species. More so, even more so in the States, I think.
Looking for an inhaler.
Got an ID?
Yep. Yeah. We already out here. Nothing in the car.
I did.
Yeah, Udi, that autistic kid that Gypsy coaxed to do the murder, you know, real sad interview he had with cops, you know, and he was totally chivalrous about it, I guess. And I think she knew what she was doing a lot more than he did, you know. And yeah, I'd go so far as to say that he should have had some kind of leniency. I mean, she certainly did. She's out now, isn't she? It's fragile, dangerous, useless, jagged, worthless. You know, it's there's so much you can do with it. I'm not going to be a piece of broken glass, sir. I mean, has anybody ever heard someone say that? Seriously, is that like a common thing, or maybe not even common? But has anybody ever heard that in any context in your life, in your family, on a film or TV show? I've never heard it. I think it's just him.
Dispatch Frederick 988. Can you log 528 Zebra John Victor?
Kate McGuire, the glass metaphor is from Andrew Smith's testimony in the Chandler Halderson case. Andrew Smith was the friend of Chandler Halderson that gifted him with the high-powered assault rifle that he shot his parents with. And they only knew each other. They'd only met that one time when he gifted him the gun. And they'd met online in a game because he was stationed in Germany. Anyway, his testimony was just like kind of bizarre because they'd ask him to spell his name and he'd go Alpha, November, Delta, Echo, Whiskey, Sierra, Mike, India, Tango, Hotel. You know, he'd do all these military things, you know, like they gave him a number to read from a sheet of paper, a serial number or something. And he did it like this. Instead of just, you know, reading a number saying like, oh, it's 681-2975124, you know, like a normal person. He goes 6, 8, 1, 7, 7, 4, 2. Like he's in the field. And yeah, he had a few sentences that were worth writing down as well. And one of them was, "I'm not going to be a piece of broken glass, sir." So here in the comments, we were just all trying to work out what the hell that meant, and it's kind of stuck with us as a bit of a common phrase that gets bounded around from time to time. So that's the origin, Kate. Glad to let you know. Hey, Rabbit, I hope you heard the explanation there, just so you know where it came from. It's a direct quote from Andrew Smith, so we can't throw in the word shard, I'm afraid.
Hello?
Hi, Rosalie Paul. How you doing? Good to see you.
They are really organized people. But everything's like super organized.
There you go, Rabbit. The cops are like, yeah, everything is super organized. And Rabbit is flawed. That's FLOORED, not FLAWED. I don't know, guys. It's pretty much just going through boxes. I'm wondering if we skip ahead a bit, we might be able to. What is this? 149 to 128. So if we skipped 20 minutes, we could wrap up this video today. Then we don't have to come back to it. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't see nothing? I didn't see anything out of but I was more looking in, not FDR. What's the little
Yeah, Christina. They say, do you know how to? Can you pull up the bank records for the accounts so we can see if there's any purchases? He's like, oh, I don't have access to that. You know, she does all that. I can't even log into the bank. I mean, that, you know, there's just, I wouldn't be happy with that arrangement myself, but I guess everyone's different.
Come on, Ray.
Come on.
Dog's like, it happened in here. Come and get your good sniffer dog to tell you it happened. There was a trauma. There was distress here.
I jumped out in the window wells, trying to look in the windows. Nothing. Because at first they said she's diabetic, so I was thinking maybe she's passed out. So I was trying to get in, but then
Did he show up?
he finally, he showed up. Because they called him and said, get your ass home. So I'm trying to get like the garage door opener key. He said that didn't work. He said the button thing doesn't work. Garage door is pretty much shut down.
Then he came home and let you in?
He came home and let me in.
What doesn't work? The garage door?
He said the password on the outside, the code one, doesn't work.
Can you close it from the outside?
I don't know.
Well,
It hasn't been closed since I've been here.
the front door was locked, right?
I think he hit his garage door opener
No, I'm
when he
saying
got here. Front door was locked.
the deadbolt locked?
The top deadbolt, you could open it like 3 inches and it locks.
Okay. So
She had to go out the garage because this door is closed and locked. It has a slider lock. So she had to leave through the garage.
Come here, pups.
There's a house right on Steeple Rock. I might have really good video, but they're not home. It was aiming towards Woodland Hill and Steeple Rock. Right next door, he's got it and aims this way. It hits between, there's a tree and the garage. So at 527, Chris goes out, gets his truck, backs into the driveway.
And what time was that?
527 this morning. He said he had to load up a bunch of tools. Neighbor said he never does that. He normally Like just grabs his backpack or whatever and walks out to the car, throws it in and leaves. This morning he backs in, and it's on video at 527. But he backs like into the garage partially because you can't see like the tailgate area, so you can't see what he's loading. You don't see him loading anything up. And I mean, look in the back of the truck, it's still full of stuff. There's no room to put anything.
And we watched the rest of the video to see if anybody cared. After that?
Yeah, he watched it and he said there's nothing. He said it's really good. It'll pick up any kind of carb movement, but it never at 148 when your RP drops her off, it doesn't pick her up pulling in. It doesn't see the wife getting out. It just picks her up backing up and leaving. So it's kind of choppy. She could have left. So I'm just trying to get more video to.
Seed is a word that is in like Jane Austen writing, wasn't it? It's old school, man.
What? Yeah. Come on, let's go outside.
No, we went in the back, so she's in the house now. So does your garage?
Oh, good. Chris is on the front lawn, keeping an eye out in case there's any sign. Yeah, I was just hoping she'd drive by. You know?
Storage pad work?
No, not on the outside. There's a radiator right here, and every time something right here got busted, and it pulls out. So you'd have to just hold it down, but it won't do anything. It's 2385 is the code, but I can never get to do anything.
Can you close the garage from out here?
You gotta have the
opener?
Yeah, with you.
And so does she have an opener?
Yeah.
Let's go see if there's an opener. Is it?
Well, it's already been open.
Is it a physical opener, or is it programmed into the car?
It's a physical one, on the dash, on the visor. And then there's one as you walk out of the garage door to the front side.
Yeah, Jessica Wilson, don't you hate it when you hear a trauma dog in these videos? It's the worst part of the whole deal for me. A really upset dog who clearly is trying to tell them something. You know what I mean? There's trouble here. It was him. It was him. Don't miss him. Look into him.
When was that?
What?
That receipt for?
On August 10th.
So 3 days ago. See if that one's unlocked.
Oh, look, Chris, they've opened the garage of mystery. How did they do it, Chris? He was like at the keypad going, yeah, we have to press and hold, but I can't do it. So we're not going to be doing it. Cops are like, yeah, okay. Where's the remote?
Locked.
Is it in the car? Just keep at the door then?
Yeah, press that thing and see how long it takes.
What's your name again?
I'm Sergeant Bates. Good to meet you.
So she doesn't have any family or anyone around here?
Neither of us do. They're all back in North Carolina. We moved here back in 2012. Came out here to visit some friends.
So if they're in North Carolina, are they back east, guys? Does that count? It's got to count.
During Thanksgiving, fell in love with the place. Moved out here a few months later.
She have any friends around here?
Just for friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got friends in Frederick, Erie, Aurora. That
Yeah, but I know he's in Colorado, but he just said his parents and everyone is back in North Carolina. And my question is that back east? It was a whole thing yesterday, y'all. I don't know if you were here, but that's okay.
part of Erie, Broomfield, Parker.
Have you tried to contact any of them?
Oh yeah, we've exhausted every option. The last thing I'm going to do is hospitals. Hotels. There's so many, but
And no one's heard from her today?
Nice one, Rabbit. We're becoming wiser people, all of us together as one.
Have you checked your bank accounts?
that's another thing I was going to do because I don't have access through here.
Let's go check those and see if she pulled any cash out or if there's any strange charges or anything.
Okay.
Can you log?
I can't log in because she does all the finances.
Okay.
So I know her password.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? I don't want to be gender observant or whatever, but can you imagine saying that to another man? Yeah, I can't log in to my bank because she won't let me. I just would never say that.
Don't have her user ID. Not sure what she would have used that way. Sorry, my phone's just blowing up right now.
No, you're fine. Who do you guys bank through?
USAA and Chase.
Can you call them and see if there's been any activity? Any withdrawals or anything? And then the suitcases that she came home this morning with, which ones were those? Was
The
the
black
one?
one that was sitting right there.
Not the one in the bedroom?
Mm-mm. That was from the last trip, or when we just got back a few days ago from North Carolina. She went to Arizona like 2 days later. That was when we just got put back down in the basement.
You guys don't have any stockpiles of cash or anything in the house that she would have had? If she needed cash, she needed to go to the bank to get it?
If there is, I would not know about it. If there was, I didn't know.
Do you know how much cash she usually carries with her?
It's usually not, maybe like 100.
It's not Charlie Adelson we're dealing with here, guys. She's got $100, okay? Like, wow. Yeah, okay. So pretty frugal then.
Your turn signal's on. It's been on.
yeah, Kate, I agree. And, you know, I don't think that building in that direction brings anyone any happiness, you know. And I don't want to, you know, some people get really nuts about this, you know, where they go, oh, Shanann was a controlling nightmare and she drove him to it, you know, like it's her fault that he killed her, which is ridiculous. But, you know, I don't want to be, I just like to be neutral. I want to say that Shanann was beautiful and flawed like everybody. And part of her flaws were her decorating tastes, you know, lot of purple, and you know, there shouldn't be that much purple in anyone's home ever. You know, little bit here and there. It's like an accent of color, not the whole friggin' thing, you know. Yeah, I can find lots of stuff that I don't appreciate about Shanann. Obviously, that's not warrant to have her murdered, but yeah. Some people go the other way and put her on a pedestal, saying she was a great mother. She was fantastic mother. She was building a life. And I'm not like that either. I'm just like, well, you know, there's good and bad.
I may have to turn in a hurry.
Dispatch, Frederick 988.
Yeah,
Queen.
yeah, maybe he has a lot less stress, but I don't think so, because when he goes out to buy something for himself, he'll get back and she'll say, Chris, what is this charge from Staples for 12.49? You bought printer ink again, Chris? We weren't supposed to buy printer ink until next month, Chris. You know, and if he went out for a meal, it'd be like, no, 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 you're allowed one drink with the meal. You know, just too much.
Frank Tom 682. Is this the truck you always drive?
Want me to go in there and get the card?
Yeah, you can go in the house, yeah. I don't know, there's no computer in it, so I don't know how the GPS, if it's computer. Yeah.
Some stuff on the bed?
Yes, there were. She might have wanted to watch them just because she would, I guess, go back from the airport last night. She just climbed in bed to brush eggs in the airport. Usually what she does. They wanted me to make sure that couple weeks.
What shoes does she normally wear? Those flip flops?
She has flip flops there. She has flip flops in her office. She has a whole shoe closet in there.
Okay. You have no idea where she would go.
All the friends that I know,
You contacted them.
contact. If there's other, that's the only ones that I know of. I mean, there could be people that I don't know.
Look at this comment, guys, from someone called Pokey. Chill out, Mr. Uppercase. Yeah, this fun fact, Christina, is quite possibly where he made the decision to take her out, right? He was like, well, I'm going to go through with this plan anyway, so what does it matter if she sees the charge on the card? He knew she'd see it. You know, that's called going past the point of no return, and it's the perfect price for a meal for two and a few drinks. You know, Shanann's no fool. She knows what a date costs, you know.
Do you know how many credit cards she actually has?
Credit cards, no. Taxi cabs and limousines.
Yeah, Matt, and I think, well, not all the time. There are a lot of idiots out there. Chris is certainly one of them. But, you know, if you think about a case like Jody, she undeniably had some finesse to her, some skill. And, you know, that trial, you know, could have almost worked. Her terrible plan. Yeah, that was a pretty terrible plan. But, you know, she clearly has some finesse. Chris has no finesse whatsoever. Chandler Halderson even had a little bit of finesse with his just ability to come up with bullshit. Yeah, it's amazing that Chris Watts in particular thought that this would all just go away, right? So her parents never hear from their daughter or their granddaughters again. And Chris says, well, we had an emotional conversation. She left, and she's probably gone on to a new life now. Yeah, probably married another guy. Left me for another guy. You know, is that what his plan was? I think that's what he was hoping. I don't think he'd made a plan, but it had to be something like that, right? I think he would have, if he'd have had time, he'd have probably returned to where he dumped the bodies and made sure that they were, you know, never discoverable. He packed that gasoline in his truck that day, didn't he? I don't know if he was thinking to explode the oil tanks. I mean, an explosion of that size, I guess, would just obliterate the evidence as far as the bodies into dust. Maybe. I don't know.
Most recent one on the chase is the taxi cab and limousine company for $15.36.
When?
August 12th.
Did they say where?
No, it says a merchant known as taxi cab and limousines.
Now, where does she normally go to the doctor?
I know that betting off the bed is ridiculous, isn't it, Amy? in a house that's so put together. Everything is in its place. Everything is labeled in its place. You know, where's the bedding? Well, we need to check the labels. You know, there must be a map of where the bedding would be or something. You know, I don't know. It's the most. He must have just like bundled her body in the sheets, dragged it into the truck, thrown the rest of the bedding in the trash. I mean, it really is. It's just. Of course, he didn't expect he thought he was gonna come home alone, but he came home really early to cops there, and then all the cops there, and the friend looking at him like it was you, and the dog looking at him like it was you, you know.
So, with it's in Erie, right off the Erie Parkway, there's a doctor's office over there. Yeah. Right off, like, right behind CVS over there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a doctor's office right there. Beirut. That's her main doctor. But as far as the one for baby, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, Kate, sorry. Yeah, it's high 60s, 68 IQ, 68. I mean, Jesus Christ. Actually, he had a reputation on the oil fields as being the Rain Man of oil refinery machinery. Like he'd be working on a complex mechanism with all of these cogs and gears and stuff, and he'd do it all in his head. So there's got to be something there. But social intelligence, emotional intelligence, it's just an empty, wet paper bag. You know.
And it didn't say what text.
Yeah, Christina, I think we're going to get to go straight into the FBI interrogation tomorrow, where he's like, I would never touch that wife or those kids. Yeah. Congratulations, Chris, on the distancing language there. Yeah.
Cab company it was or anything.
That was very vague. August 13th, $27 at Target.
Hey guys, don't you love it when someone makes an argument that cannot be either proven or disproven? You know, like this one on the screen. You know, if we argue against that and say it's false, we're the bad guys.
Next.
Which credit card is this?
USA.
And you guys have the same?
It's the same account.
And that's just when it's pulling out of your account, or the purchase was today?
It's pulling out of that same account.
So probably a couple days ago then.
The urgency at which Chris is going through the accounts now is it's quite something, isn't it? The panic in his voice as he realizes there have been no charges. There have been no large deposits or withdrawals, nothing relevant. Yeah, there was a charge. There was a charge the other day at a gas station when she got gas, when she was here.
And if you look through here and see if all of her cards are here?
He doesn't know
I don't know how many she has. She has different ones than me as far as credit cards go. Like we have the same debit cards, the same account, but like
These are your debit cards?
yeah, those are the same account.
Got a picture of all of them.
Then, do your kids have like a favorite pair of shoes that they normally wear?
Favorite pair of shoes?
Yeah.
No, they have all their shoes are in the closet right here. They
Do you know which ones they normally wear? Like
flavor of the month thing, honestly. Like whatever they want to wear, they say pick your shoes and they just go through them. Bella's on this side, Cece's on that side.
Sure.
Do your kids take any medication? Cece takes Singular and Omeprazole.
How often?
Singular is every night for allergies, and Omeprazole for the acid reflux.
Is one of them on inhalers?
They haven't done it since they got back. I think it might have ran out because the last one I saw had 0 on it, so we hadn't refilled that one yet.
From North Carolina?
Yep.
And when did you guys get back?
I think it was, I went back to work on the 8th, so we got back on the 7th.
Okay.
And then she left Arizona on Friday and got back last night.
And she had the kids with her last night?
Yes.
Or you had the kids?
Well, I had the kids like all weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. They went to a birthday party yesterday over at friend's house on the street.
And then, is someone sleeping in the basement?
I did a few times the separation thing. I just struck.
How recently?
Probably about 2 nights ago, 3 nights. Well, when she was here, so probably last time was Thursday night, Friday.
Okay. And then your kids, do they sleep in their own beds or do they sleep with you guys?
Those 2 adjacent rooms, they connect to that bathroom.
You're lucky.
I know
very lucky right now.
her sheets and stuff are up in the master bedroom.
No, they so like when she got back from the airport last night, usually like she just dumped it in bed. Like most of the time when she does that, she'll want to wash the sheets the next day to get the airport off them since she just came off the airport.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of.
But they were still on it when
Oh yeah, she was in bed. Yeah.
So you were in that bed last night?
Yeah. I was up there because the monitor and stuff was up there. I was waiting for her to get back home.
And then she works from home? Is that right?
Yeah, direct sales.
Okay.
So she works from phone, anything, the computer.
And then is that the office she uses for work?
Oh, she can do anywhere in here. She can sit on the couch.
Oh, okay. She doesn't have like a designated area.
No.
All right.
She can go anywhere.
And you can't think of anywhere she'd want to go? She go for walks around here?
No, I go for runs. She doesn't really do anything as far as going for walks or anything.
And you talk to all the friends you guys have around the area? And what was the conversation this morning you guys had?
It was about selling the house and the separation.
And how'd she take that?
We were both pretty emotional. It was both crying.
Yeah.
And then did you see?
Yeah, it was about selling the house and the separation and the fact that I didn't want the baby that was growing inside her, and I didn't want to support her or the kids. And I told her about my affair, and that I was leaving. So yeah, she was upset.
Her before you went to work? Did you say anything to her?
When she went back.
It would have probably been better if he'd have said, listen, I told her I was having an affair and she flipped out. I've never seen her like this. She is in a totally unpredictable state. She's been having trouble with her medication anyway. The doctor's been trying to fine-tune that. But now I am seriously worried what she might have done. Just get the investigation off yourself, man. Make them look somewhere else. Buy yourself some time.
Like, when she told me she was going to go to her friend's house and be with the kids, take the kids with her.
Oh, she told
all the cops had just sat there going, well, it was obviously him, and let's just see how much he's going to say before he calls a lawyer.
she was taking the kids
Yeah.
to her friend's house.
Yeah.
She didn't say who, though.
Oh, no. No, but she was still in bed when that happened.
And this was after the conversation?
Yeah, it was between like 4 and 5 a.m. I woke up about 4 o'clock.
What time did she get home?
1:48.
So did you guys sleep for a little while and then?
Oh yeah, like I was passed out when she got home.
And then did you wake her up?
Yeah, when I got up.
And that's when you discussed
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
issue?
because I didn't want to do it like over a text or over a phone call. I wanted to be face to face.
How long did that conversation last?
Probably like 30, 45 minutes.
And then you went to work?
Mm-hmm. I left about 5:15, 5:30, right in that time frame.
And then she said she was going to her friend's house with kids?
But she was still here when I left.
You went to a job site or you went to the main plant or where'd you go?
I went to location first.
Where was that?
By Hudson, over there, east of Hudson.
And there was someone there at the time when you got there?
No, not. One of the operators, he had an issue there on Friday, about to run over the weekend. I went over there just to kind of verify what kind of issue he was having, see if I could fix it. Then we went to a pumping unit across the ranch over there. I was there most of the day. That's when I got the phone calls and text messages and came home.
Are you guys on like Area 49? Where are you guys at?
Oh, like, you know where like Rockin' is?
Matilda, do I think it was strange that the two detectives visited Chris in prison to get the real story? Well, I think it was probably unusual, but I'm glad they did. I wish they took a better audio recorder with them. You know, I hope cops can start recording audio better. You know, just as a rule. No, I think they should always do that in cases. Go and see what else they say after they're just like, okay, well, that's life and that's it. So you want to say anything else?
Yep.
Yeah, out there.
Who's your entry on?
Serbia.
Okay. I know where that's at.
So what kind of tools did you have to load up in the garage?
It was just mainly I got my water.
Yeah, I had to get my big woman-shaped tools and my 2 tool bags that are about the same size as my kids.
Bottles, my water jug, my computer, book bags, my containers full.
What sort of tools did you bring? Well, my water jug, containers, book bag. Chris, these aren't tools, my friend, okay? They're not tools. You're losing track now, Chris. Try and get back on track, Chris.
Just
say that again.
I know where that's at.
So what kind of tools did you have to load up in the garage?
It was just mainly I got my water bottles, my water jug, my computer, book bags, I have my containers full of just my O-rings, all that stuff, just putting it all in there because I took it out a lot.
Do you load it up every day?
I'll just like on the Monday, like after I get all that stuff, because I had an issue where somebody stole all my tools out of my truck. My pipe wrenches are gone, my socket set's gone, what else? My wrench set's gone. Like we had an issue. That's why I parked my truck in front of the neighbor's house for like a few days, just to see if like I could see if anybody was breaking it, tried to break into my truck again. It was my fault. I left it unlocked. So as far as the toolbox is on the back.
So on the weekend you download your stuff, and then on Monday you load it.
Oh yeah, I just put it all back in, just to kind of get everything out of my truck, clean it out a little bit from the whole week, because it gets filthy.
How long you guys lived here since 2012 or a different house?
No, like so 2012 we moved here, lived in a friend's basement in Broomfield.
Okay.
And we closed on this house. It was built 2013 in May, and that's when we moved in there.
Okay. Does she have any other friends in this neighborhood?
No, I mean.
Remember to leave a like, share. No, what is it? Like, share, leave a comment. We've got enough comments tonight, guys, but what about those likes? If you're still here, why not leave a like on the video? It helps us out. It helps us out, you know? It's good for everybody.
We haven't talked to many people around here, honestly.
It's mostly in Erie and Broomfield?
Erie, Broomfield, Frederick.
Where at in Frederick, do you know?
So we had, they just lived up here in Frederick Way. They actually just moved down to Thornton, Nick and Amanda Thayer.
Okay.
Nikki, she lives up, the one that was here, she lives in Frederick.
The one that dropped her off?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, she lives like.
Thanks, Hugh.
Over there building that new stoplight, that bridge over there.
Right. Okay. And you have no idea of what friend? So all your friends pretty much have kids the same age? Mm-hmm. So it's hard to...
It's really hard. I mean, I've exhausted every option I know of as far as friends goes. Like, Nikki knew more of them because she's a woman. And that's about as far as we could go, as far as all the friends that we could think of.
All right. So if you talk to some of her friends, tell them that we're looking for her, and we just need to make sure that she's okay. And she can call us. She doesn't have to call you. That if that's what she's worried about.
You know, you're trying to get a hold of her and she don't want to talk to you. So have them refer her to us if they know where she's at.
Okay. Just so whatever's going on between you guys, that's between you guys. If she doesn't want to talk to you, that's fine. We just don't want to waste resources looking for her if she's actually okay. So, like, if you can relay to the friends, hey, I understand she doesn't want to talk to us, at least have her call the police so that they know she's okay.
Okay.
Type deal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That way that we know that she's okay, and whatever's going on between you guys can kind of figure that out.
Chris is thinking to himself now, he's thinking, who do I know that sounds exactly like Shanann? He's probably going to call the FBI later himself saying, hello, this is Shanann, and I'm fine. The kids are fine. To steal a line from Wendy Edelson. He's going to put on a wig, send the FBI a picture of him holding up today's newspaper at a public location.
Okay, type deal. Do you have any questions for us before we get out of here?
I mean, call area hospitals, call hotels.
Someone said she was diabetic.
She had her friend Cassie in Arizona.
Yeah, Chris, we're sure you're going to get right on that when we leave. You're going to be calling the area hospitals, the hotels. Have you seen a woman with 2 kids? She might be wearing purple.
She's a nurse, and she knows she had low blood sugar when she was down there. That's why I brought that up.
Oh, okay.
She never had seizures or blacked out or anything.
It was just like that was a long time ago before I even met her. She had a horrific car accident. I think she might have blacked out or had a seizure. They just couldn't really figure it out. Like, she just had a car accident. She just flew out of the car.
And you have his contact info?
Yeah. I think the detective did.
Yeah, they went along.
Okay. And if you hear, did you get a card or anything?
From the detective, yeah.
Okay, so there's a dispatch number on there.
Okay.
If you hear anything from her, call that number and let us know, and it'll just go straight to our dispatch, and then an officer will call you right back.
Okay.
That way, our main concern is to make sure she's okay and the kids are okay. So if you hear a peep from her, just call us, and we'll call you. Or
Hey, Super Sally Psych.
leave us a contact number to reach her so we can talk to her.
Okay.
What's your date of birth?
5/16/85.
What's that?
5/16/85.
85?
Yes.
What's the phone number for you?
910-309-1702.
All right.
Do you want my card or anything?
I'll take it.
Okay. I'll just underline that number. Just call that number. Someone will answer that phone 24/7.
Okay.
So,
Sweet.
and then just leave your contact info.
It's rock solid, Rabbit in disguise. Tonight, she's Super Sally Psych.
And an officer will call you right back. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
The dog is still like, arrest him! Arrest him! It was him! Where are you going? Don't leave me here with him! He's a killer! Well, guys, right around the 4-hour mark. Yeah. Keep going past our allotted deadline, don't we? Everyone said, oh, the stream should only be 2 hours long. Actually, not everybody. Only 60%. Only 60% said that. And I think 25% 3 hours. And then 15% was like, more than 4. More than 4 hours. We like more than 4 hours. Anyway, guys, that concludes day one. Day one, guys. What do you say? Should we play out with the song? We came in with the song. Let's leave with the song. How do we play the song?
It's been a tough year, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I wish that I would just fucking die. My wife don't love me and we don't have sex. Marriage is fucked up, I wonder what's next. But I found a new girl and she loves me lots. She gives me hand jobs and sucks on my cock. But having two families is expensive as fuck. I wanna trade in my old one. I'll put my wife in the ground, I'll put my girls in a tank. I got no love in my heart, I got no cash in the bank. I made a real bad mistake. I cheated with a slut, all because she let me fuck and let me put it in her butt. I'll put my wife in the ground, I'll put my girls in the tank. I got no love in my heart, I got no cash in the bank. I made a real bad mistake. I cheated with a slut, all because she let me fuck and let me put it in her butt. But I'm acting clueless and I'm playing it cool. But I look like an asshole and I feel like a fool. I tell the cop maybe she just went to the mall. I think I'm in deep shit. I put my wife in the ground, I put my girls in a tank. I got no love in my heart, I got no cash in the bank. I made a real bad mistake. I cheated with a slut, all because she let me fuck and let me put it in her butt. I put my wife in the ground, I put my girls in a tank. I got no love in my heart, I got no cash in the bank. I made a real bad mistake. I cheated with a slut, all because she let me fuck and let me put it in her butt. Daddy, let me breathe. 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 I put my wife in the ground, I put my girls in a tank. I got no love in my heart, I got no cash in the bank. I made a real bad mistake. I cheated with a slut, all because she let me fuck and let me put it in her butt.
Yeah, Kate. Nicole, on her Google history, she was researching how to prepare for anal sex. So I guess Chris was enjoying the more kinky side of that relationship. You know, Shanann's probably like, hey, what are you doing? Wrong hole, buddy. Oh, bless her. What's the song, guys? Let's find the original artiste. I love it. I sing it on the beach. I put my wife in the ground. I put my girls in the tank. I got no love in my heart. I got no cash in the bank. I made a real bad mistake. I cheated with a slut, all because she let me fuck and let me put it in a butt. Chris Watts' song. Tyler Cassidy, Chris Watts. I'll put a link in the description for the video tomorrow, guys. So if you can't find it, check back here and it'll be there. Yeah. Okay. No, many thanks to everybody in the chat today, guys. Super busy chat. The main players are back. Tomorrow, we are going to... The main section of tomorrow's video is going to be the fantastic, mind-blowing interrogation led by Graham Coder. Chris is in the hot seat doing his big hand gestures, the hand gestures of truth and honesty and distancing language. Good move, Chris. Way to seem like you give a shit, Chris. Yeah, and also, well, we're going to start off the video tomorrow with the newscast interviews. Or should we do those now? It's a little late, but I suppose we could fit one in. Or maybe we should just sign off. Everyone's saying goodbye. Okay, yeah. We're signing off, guys. But tomorrow, another great show. Remember, guys, to like the video, share, leave a comment. If any last minute support, and thank you very much for everyone who supported the channel today with the super chat and etc. If any last minute supporters or future supporters in the playback version want to help the channel grow, there's a link to buymeacoffee.com in the description for the video, as well as super chat, super stickers, super thanks, and super like, I think, on the YouTubes. Fantastic, guys. Good work, team Metrix. We've got some good players coming into the chat as well, so that's fantastic. There's more to come, guys. There's more. It's the endless show, isn't it? It's the endless show that's going to be back with you tomorrow. But we will be starting our 4 days a week, 4 days only a week schedule next week, this coming week, starting tomorrow. Anyway, thank you all. So good to see you all. Thank you, and good night.